Hello, and the day will continue with String Zero. We walk as hallway becomes tunnel, wide and peppered with advertisement, monitors, holograms, and opulent fixtures that echo the Respite's design. Ever waiting for some privacy on the elevator. I nod and nothing else. We walk until wood paneled walls and lush carpeting opening into a celebrity-ready, multi-tiered grand staircase, smooth and polished and perfect. And though morning on the surface, parts of me once spit at this fool's paradise. How unlike the club's interior, or the club's exterior, rough and real like the dock workers and ruineers who use it. How unlike Kavir, always tripping over the mess of us. I stare annoyed at him, and I wish he was here. It's flawless. He leans against a balustrade of sculpted crystal, looking down. His tone is poisonous. One good thing you've done for me tonight saved me from being posed up here like a celebrity mannequin. They meet and greet Doric mentioned. The meet and greets Doric mentioned. He nods. Stage plays, photo ops for Tarwolf to look important. He drums a few fingers over the sparkling surface. Samer don't have a walk. Half the part of me now buried in him magnified his hatred. I'm suddenly distressingly aware of my own disgust. We walk. We walk down the stairs and under a intricately carved archway at its base, flanked by illuminated fountains. My hood flares alive as I step through the holographic turnstiles of the public security gate. Citizenship confirmed. Welcome, Ravi Wayan. I wave her off. Hold up. We're gonna use the VIP elevator so we can talk without an audience. So that's what he meant by privacy. Isn't that just for company bigwigs? As much as I hate to admit it, being attached to Tarwolf has its perks. Give me a second, I'll let you through. Sure. He gestures for me to walk further down and then disappears to a different and much more elaborate security gate built into the living walk. There's probably fancy Sargosian wine in there or something. I follow the wall for a few minutes, fingers grazing the stone. It's painted with various artistic maps of the Laotian citizen transit system, murals of monuments, murals of momentous events in the city's history, the sorts of things a native would resonate with, probably. Congratulations, Ravi Ryan. God, holographic. A hologram suddenly sizzles to being some angel genius Dorwolf. I slam myself against the wall. You've been granted temporary status as an allo retainer. Please come this way. Ew. I look around. There's only a few people milling about. None of them seem to be punks on my entire rep. What little of it there is could have just evaporated. Yeah, okay, make it quick. Thankfully, the hologram matches my pace as we power walk towards another private gate with a sealed security door. The space within is an expansive lounge with decorations similar to the staircase and beyond, out-of-touch luxury. The hologram says something cut off by my fist slamming against the door's control. Crown stands nearby with a crystal glass filled with an amber liquid. I fold my arms. What? Sargosian Warren? Sargosian wine, although related to the southern country of Sargos. He rolls his eyes. Whiskey. What do you want from me? It's here. I'm drinking it. I deserve that much. He grumbles and points to a series of private, more intimately sized elevators compared to the normal lifts, which carry hundreds. What do you want from me? It's here. I'm drinking it. I deserve that much. He grumbles and points to a series of private, more intimately sized elevators compared to the normal lifts, which carry hundreds. Well, in that case, I think I'll get some. Nope. He shoves me forward. Hey, the weedy guy is stronger than he looks. You're still on Kitty Glove's probation. Besides, I need your head clear. I shove my hands into my jacket. Yeah, well, booze is probably laced with company-minded controlled serum anyways. I would be so lucky to not have to think. The elevator is as posh as the lounge, classy fixtures, wing-back chairs surrounding a low table, and a warm, light, glass walls tended for privacy, though we're currently surrounded by bedrock. It feels exactly like the kind of place which corporals would talk about casually murdering someone. I dump myself in one of the chairs as Crown keys in our destination and the door closes. He sits opposite of me, leg crossed, sipping meaningfully. What? His eyes stay on me. You listening? A1. A talented cyber jockey and jazz runner with a mixed reputation. Yep, been waiting. This new guy? A husky voice comes from the elevator speakers. Laotian accent, street level, probably from Get Down or the Squat. Well, hey, new guy. Nightlight said. Later, we're good. Okay, pixie pants, calm down. Surveillance is handled. Feel free to get nasty. Gross. Seconded. Less commentary, more privacy. You really are zero fun, you know? Well, whatever you get up to, everything will be said when you leave, so no going back up unless you want Big Meanie Wolf hearing all the dirt. Thanks. A few taps to the control panel on his armrest, and the engine whirs. The barrels are jolts, and we start heading down. He then opens his mouth to say something, but pauses, looking up sharply instead. Privacy means leave. An awkward silence settles between us as he waits for something. Suspicious twat, fine. We'll chat at the rain. New guy, hope you're more fun than clown here. Clown huffs, leaning back, he wells at a temple and sips his drink. Clown, huh? That was your freebie. Say it again and I'll melt your brain. Worth it. Nev mentioned in A1 that them. The very same. Those two have a messy history, but A1's one of the best net runners around and happened to be in need of a new crew, so I tolerate him. You could stand to be less of an ass. He shrugs. So could you. And then nails his ass. And then narrows his eyes. Also, don't think I've forgotten everything you're not telling me about Nev in the security room. I slouch in the chair uncomfortably. The virtuous AI I'm curious what Crown knows, but just thinking about the whole thing makes me nauseous. Yes, sir. Fine. Later. One thing is bothering though. Just one? I mean, about you, this jazz running. Meaning Wolf, Torwolf's not a problem. Like, he's letting you just do merc work on the... Come on, man. Meaning Wolf, Torwolf's not a problem. Like, he's letting you just do merc work on the side, no questions, with your abilities. Wouldn't that be a bad look? Seems like something he'd care about. Sorb, you're not wrong. Jazz singers are typically kept on a short leash. The company won't abide having people with our abilities just run around, after all. He eyes me. I swing uncomfortably. So Torwolf and I have an arrangement. He covers for me, and in return, I do whatever he asks. You his errand boy or something? I swear I see his eyes twitch. Don't be a shit. That's how he works. If he hasn't manhandled you into something yet, he will soon. There's no getting out of it, so make use of him. Illustratively, he loudly sips his booze. Why then? Why what? Be a jazz runner. You don't need the money with Torwolf's backing. I have my reasons, and no, I'm not telling you. Before you sit, careful. Right. I swallow loudly. Listen, that word still gives me a cold chill. Torwolf thrives on information, but there are places he can't go, like the rain for political reasons, optics. So I keep my involvement in jobs discreet while keeping an ear out for details I know he'd care about, occasionally look into things he can't. You get jobs with people knowing you work for them? For him. Ever heard of a gilded cage? I'm a fucking government mandated indentured servant making the best of a bad situation. Be careful or you'll have it even worse with what you can do. Yeah, I know. Good. And yes, I get jobs, though my situation is unique. Professional wonders like Jiv don't care much as long as the pay's good, and while the tech punk runners hate corporal collaborators, the smart ones understand that Torwolf has an interest in damaging the standings and status of his political rivals. To them, damaging one corporal is as good as damaging another, so they turn a blind eye to the fact that working with me or taking my info likely means Torwolf's up to something. The enemy of their enemy and all that. So discord among the elite. He raised a hand. It's all stuff Torwolf can easily disavow, mind. He's not the criminal, after all. Stand up guy. He smirks. In short, I have my haters, but also have my uses, so things balance out. To be fair, even if I weren't on a lease, I still have my haters. You've met me. Yeah, you're a ray of sunshine. My most endearing quality. But don't worry, we have plenty of dark things to talk about. Just not here. We're gonna stop somewhere before we head to the rain. Where? Satyan Temple. A temple dedicated to the Sawas of memory, Sati. The one on the edge of the lake? That's the one. Why? Ambience. Really? It's one of the few places I could personally guarantee the company won't be listening. He squints upward. Nothing this time. Or anyone else. I've never been to Satyan, but thinking of it summons a warm memory of Doric's unscarred face backlit by the artificial cavern sun. He's smiling. A second hand swallowed. What do you think of Doric? He stares at me. I told you. This isn't about your memories. It's just, well, he warned me about you. Did he? Yeah, nothing I'm sure you can't guess. He's a decent man, too loyal for his own good, nosy bitch. But he's always been like that. You've known him for a while? Crown looks away, swirling the remainder of his booze. It's none. Don't. Not this time. He's part of all this too. Either I ask you or I ask him. Crown stares at his drink and replies with less fury than I expect. For a long while, he was a detective, and I was a private investigator. Before this, he's yeses to his fancy clothes. We worked together sometimes, were opposed sometimes. He had bosses, I had clients. Our relationships complicated. Got that. And what's that supposed to mean? I roll my eyes to decide against the obvious follow-up. Now you're leased by his dad? You're telling me there's no connection there? Not what I want to talk about. You prefer I ask him? Do what you want. The conversation dies there. Crown sips the rest of his conch and then taps at an armrest. The tint on the glass fades. The conversation dies there. Crown sips the rest of his conch and then taps at an armrest. The tint on the glass walls fades just as the lift drops down from the bedrock into a dense cloud of moisture. Alcohol, specifically as a substance to relieve burdens of pain. High above the city is raining over New Leos. Water peppers and streaks over glass, the glare of city lights, 1,000 animal eyes staring through mist. It's night so I can only barely make out the blurry phantoms of various landmarks connecting their shapes with memory. My memory, I think. Separating myself from him isn't getting any easier. The further down we go, and the closer we get to places I can feel attached to, the more visions of his life bubble into being. I'm walking alone down a rainy alley and get down, buzzing with fluorescence. Maybe this time I'll get more information about Zest. Dart thinks I'm being too single-minded, reckless. He offered to use his resources quietly. Crown's sister. But I don't want to risk involving the company. I could do this on my own. One of so many memories floating just within reach. Ravi. His now empty glass has been set aside, hands folded in his lap. He looks almost statesque now, expressing cool, smooth. Take a breath and focus on something that's yours. That's what works for me. How do you know? Because I'm going through the same thing. Remember our agreement. I know. Again, I look out to the city. I can see a good portion of the tower and metro barely contained in its subterranean housing, a cavern so massive I'd never imagined such a thing possible without seeing it firsthand. That's my memory, the first time we came. Ureli and I had been silvering in a crowded refugee house just off the topside docks. Where I was silvering. She was made of stern dark stone, like the support columns that loom over this place, natural monoliths dotted with advertisements and warning lights for hovercraft. The coolness distanced us in the white. She was always on alert, had no time for affection or warmth. I was closer to Dad then. In that refugee house, something changed. I saved this from you, she said, and handed me a sprig of dried mint. She must have been holding on to it for months. I saved you from this, she said, and handed me a sprig of dried mint. She must have been holding on to it for months. Himmerment endures. So too will you desire. Himmerment endures. So too will you endure much greater things than this. It's the kind of thing I expect her to say, but as we saw Dad returning, she quickly pressed that dry sprig into my hand like it was something secret. Do this for me, child. She smiled. Remember that kindness is not always warm. Her smile faded, eyes flicking to Dad's approach. No warmth, always a kindness. I clutched those dried leaves as Dad informed us he had made a deal to secure a citizen's credentials. He was triumphant, radiating joy and warmth. What was it Doric had said? Less than 1% become citizens. I rubbed my temples. That was supposed to be a good memory. You rarely reaching out to me. Not. I spied Crown's cool reflection in the window's glass. Had Dad also been forced into some sort of political arrangement, like jazz singers? And memory rises to answer. If I had a better solution, Yingvi, I would give it to you, Doric said, though scars on his face were still raw fresh. But after everything you've done, the stoic cold of his voice cracks, so does something deep in my chest, Crown's chest. Fathers agreed. I see the longing in his remaining eye. He's your only option to reach. I'm sorry, but I can only wince and look away. No, I shake my head. That's not mine. Don't miss it. Best view of headquarters in the city. I look up from my frustration. The mist part, if there it is, clear in spite of dripping shadows. A dominating structure spanning cavern floor to roof and half as wide. All sleek planes and hard angles, it looms, a glossy and dark glass, uncompromising rectangle with sun bright lettering emblazoned across its top. Virtuosity. Virtuosity. Virtuous City, the company's original old world name. The city unto itself. There are those other megastructures that support the cavern, housing Anulios, dark monoliths carved from living stone, organic despite being covered in flashy neon. But the company headquarters is the largest by far, with nothing organic about it. Best view of headquarters in the city, he says, is impossible to miss. Arriving at Grand Meridian Station, my seat creaks as I lean back. Almost there, we descend low enough for sky travel to break up our view. Municipal transports of the LTC mix with sporty, high-altitude hovercraft. The visual distraction is a mercy. Lower, the rock scrapers of the urban jungle reach towards us, and then we're surrounded by them. Tall buildings echoing the skyscrapers of San Leos above. They're still dwarf in size for the local megastructures, but those number in the tens. Rock scrapers number in the thousands. Lower. More lights, more traffic. Vehicles get cheaper the less altitude they can handle. So the ground and mid-sky tend to have the worst of it. Lower still. Maglev tracks and sky bridges. Bodies moving on the rainy streets below. The sounds of the city. Most of the energy and light. Welcome to Grand Meridian Station. Connection information is available on station monitors or the local net at the Meridian LTC domain. Will you be needing a private car today? No, thank you. The LTC appreciates the continued patronage of the Allo family. Have a good evening. You don't want to abuse the private car service. Get another drink. I got my own ride. Besides, even I don't want to get too used to this. His hand flicks in bitter dismissal. Come on. The lift doors open into another lounge of popular Ayala Futura opulence, are graceful circles with soft colors, mirrors, and silvery coolness. It's also full of people rich with corporate trappings. There's normally a lot of stops on the way down from the descent station that we just blew by, private housing for corporal favorites that overlook the city, and so on. So I'm not too surprised by the crowd. Stinks. I couldn't agree more. Crown's suit invites a few looks, but mostly provides him space to hurry into the public terminal. Meanwhile, my garbage-looking ass stands out in the lounge, but blends right in as soon as we leave. Someone jostled by the crowd. Grand Meridian is always busy. Most of the architecture is like the lounge, with elegant metalwork and lots of reflective surfaces, brightly lit at all times. It makes the place glitter. Which also makes it a favorite hangout spot for food stalls, buskers, street performers, all sorts in need of attention or money. The place is alive with music and dueling scents of food and synthetic spices and people. Reggie Park, not in the purple lot, I'm guessing. The man checks his watch. Let's talk. More walk or we'll be late. I'm forced to thread through bodies to stay with him. It's annoying. Sure thing, master. He slows. Alright. You know what? Fine. I'll be demanding daily jogs around the city and early morning cold water ablutions until you're one with the universe. He steps ahead again, glancing briefly over his shoulder. Des. Huh? Call me Des, not Master. Another step and he passes through the security gate, merging with the busy terminal's main river of bodies. He's gone before I can ask him what the hell Des means. I hurry to catch up. Cow fucking Crown, wait up. He doesn't. I doubt he can hear me over the low roar of too many voices mixed with electronic beats. I will even dodge and only catch up to him, a bit out of breath, when he pauses at a small garden filled with trampled flowers. In its center is a single old tree with a supported bent trunk, and under an open part of the glass roof, brightened with growing lights. It's wet. Got you. I breathe. He holds up a hand, gesturing his head to a lonely dwarf standing in the rain at the edge of the garden, water dripping from a wide-brimmed straw hat. The Azothran monk wears simple, leather-wrapped clothes stained with moisture. Face hidden, hand holding out a wooden bowl. He could at any moment step to the side and out of the rain. But all he does is chant the Yagios. Azothran scripture set to rhythm. I pray for the wads of the tree. And the jazz gains attention and form spirits. A time-worn stone icon is set behind the wolf, half lost in ancient roots. Crown tosses a loose, big-credit chit into the bowl. His hover car is a sleek, bright red two-door Mahis FX Corvette, built with lightweight and durable alloys, jazzed-up engine, full hover, and even an optional gun mount. It's the sort of thing made for corporals and celebrities who want to look impressive from a distance. Rain patters against its windows as we rise out of the station square and over the worst of the mid-sky traffic. The reservoir isn't far from here. It comes into view quickly as we soar along the high skylines and then descend to the scenic Lakeview Flyway. He got something to say. He side-eyes me, hands on the wheel. It's nothing. This. The corner of his mouth twitches. It's not nothing if you're gonna sit there looking smug. It's an expensive car. Yeah, like really expensive. Yes. He grunts, restraining himself. I must be getting on his nerves. Good. I'm still annoyed at being outpaced at the terminal, and the tease is a distraction from the burden of his memories. Just me again, and I'll drop you in the lake. A short jolt, and he sets us down in a paved courtyard, a quick hike from the temple. He thumbs to the path with a violent jerk. Out. The rain has stopped, but the smell of living soil is strong. Leafy plants, especially trees, are a rarity in New Leos due to the need to grow, due to the great leafy plants, especially trees, are a rarity in New Leos due to the need for grow lights. For grow lights to supplement the simulated day-night cycle, but a number of them frame the pavement leading up to the reservoir's edge. Wet and glittering. Beyond them, peeking above the highest branches, rises the improbably wooden fat structure of Satian, the only such structure of any appreciable size in the city. So I hear. We begin to walk. It's in the name, a temple dedicated to the Sawaza Miri. Appropriate, no, given current circumstances. That and I have a relationship with the monks here. We can speak candidly. Must be some relationship. The company has ears everywhere in New Leos. Are you a distinguished personage? Yes. He snorts and looks away. But as we pass through a gate in the high stones encircling the temple grounds, I begin to understand. The machine sounds of the city, the ever-present hum of voices or music is all dulled. Even the urban glow here is muted. The more we walk, the thicker the aroma of soil, now mixing with the airy flavor of water on stone and earthy sweetness of white blossoms and green foliage. And gentle lake-born breeze spirals petals around us like snow. I hear the lapping of small waves against shore. This place is different. Company surveillance is annoyingly pervasive, yes, but it's not without its holes. He gestures towards the gold-ornamented temple itself, surrounded by its own wall, but high enough we can see the pyramidal structure of the upper floors. Satian is old and remains because its Azathoran guardians are wise to the realities of balancing ideals with pragmatism. So the company gives them space. What does that mean? Just that safe. We have more pressing issues to talk about. He walks towards the front of the temple, where carved stairs lead down to a wide stone terrace built out and over the water. I'll follow. As I'm sure you've noticed, something's missing. He presses a finger to my chest right above my heart. It's confusing. I feel like there's too much in my head. Too much of you. I place my hand over the spot. But there's also this absence I can't place. Because you did lose something. We're Ravayan, he said. Do you remember? That's what he took. I remember he also said we are Ying Vintage, or let's spell it. Crown's previous name identity. Ing Vintage. Or Ing Vintage. I remember he also said, "We are in vintage." He took that too. It's been about a year now, give or take. I don't understand. I mean, we're both still here. And let's afford. He turns to look out over the water. I place my hands on the railing, worn smooth by time. For an ancient blind thing, Vergartway is nearly impossible to escape. Okay. Vergartway, okay. It's a difficult thing to describe. It has a sort of future sight, prescience, or prescience, or presence. You know. Once he has you, he has all of you, start to finish, birth to death. All paths your life could have, all paths your life could take become open to him, and he becomes them all. You still exist, sort of, like a puppet exists, on his tongues. You still exist, sort of, like a puppet exists, on his tongues. Your will become his will. Your power becomes his power. That's why he only ever hunts children of radiance, jazz winner, jazz user, excuse me. Or so I figure. How do you know all this? That's complicated. I roll my eyes. Provocative answer, Des. Listen, I'm certain he says it just to make me silver. The only thing you need to know is I whisked my ass to loophole a god thing, and it's a fucking quirk of fate. It's worked twice. So don't expect to be saved again. I try not to swallow too loud. That Vergartway said is true. Or what Vergartway said is true. He's a lot of things, but not a liar. Connected with you means the idea, the story, the soul of Wavayan is his, or will be. Really, all I did was buy you time. I made us, you, cow. I'm going to have Wavi on the brain for days. He rubs his cheek. Anyways, I made you not entirely Wavayan. Very briefly by combining our memories, our stories, data patterns, souls, whatever. He needs some kind of context, connection, and understanding of your story to know you well enough to force integration. When we merged and obscured the pieces of Wavion he was connected to, he lost that. He couldn't perceive our distinctions. He couldn't see the future of whatever it was we became. He's known as the Blind One for a reason. So are we still invisible? Are we still safe? He snorts. Think about what you're asking. That protection lasts only so long as we stop existing as individuals. You're in a hurry to disappear? Both arms on the railing now. I rest my forehead against them. Shit. Didn't think so. How did you escape before? Was it just you? You know, it's lucky you're who you are, as weird as that might sound. How did you escape before? Was it just you? You know, it's lucky you're who you are, as weird as that might sound. Ryan is one of the few places wise enough to keep the story naming tradition alive. It's giving you the chance to become something new by your own will. I remember you telling Jeff you wanted freedom. Well, here it is. I look up at him. You know that's not what I meant. Doesn't matter. He shakes his head. Your story name is a sealed. It represents a particular life, a particular set of possible outcomes. The longer you hold it, the more history and possibility it accumulates. The larger it becomes, better obscuring everything left behind it. Deflecting present, or deflecting pre-science, confusing Vergartway. Do you understand? Not really. I feel like I've lost something, yeah, but I still have all my memories, I think. I don't feel like I'm a different person. Because you're not, you have to keep in mind story space is a realm of concepts and ideas. Vargotwe didn't literally bite off and swallow a chunk of you. Instead, think of it like two overlapping circles. There's now a fuzzy place, an open drain where Ravayan ends and he begins. That's his hook on you. The hole you feel, the place where he'll grow Ravayan the tongue. The more his circle overlaps yours, the more he will become. The more he circles. The more his circle overlaps yours, the more his will becomes your will. So as long as you're connected to Ravayan, the idea of that person, that soul, you eventually lose yourself to him. But Ravi, or whoever you decide to become, that's a different circle overlapping the far side of Ravayan, safe from Vargotwe's influence for now. By investing yourself there and that other idea, that other soul, and then leaving Ravayan behind, you can become unrecognizable to him. He tugs at one of his ears, suddenly radiating irritation. So as much as it's a fucking pain in my ass, I'll do what I can to help you. I begin to speak, but he cuts me off with a raised hand. I know, I'm not avoiding your question about me. He pauses, the muscles of his jaw working, his shoulders flex with tension. When he caught me, my name was Yingvinij. But like you, I don't have a story name to hide behind. I was forced to take dramatic action to say everything I was. I had to do some. He takes a long, settling breath. Truly regrettable things to put distance between that name and crown. He nods. Enough distance to cloud Vargotwe's powers of prescience. How do you know it was enough? Because crown isn't a name. He tries to hide it, breathing slowly to even his tone. But I can still sense the pain. It's a title, and it's all I know. Well, it's a title, and it's all I am now. So just know that it's enough. He looks away from the water, turning towards me with an expression that's suddenly softer, apologetic. For what it's worth, kid, I'm sorry. I don't have the power to reinvent you. I didn't even have the power to reinvent myself. Well, this computer has a mind of its own sometimes. Like I'm trying to click to the next text and it won't do it. And then after a few times it clicks to the text after the next text. But anyway, it's only a matter of time. Even if I avoid using story time forever, it's true Siraj can't cross the threshold, but he has a connection with you now, not unlike our connection before. So if you use your powers outside of story space, and you can, and you will because you'll need it. So if you use your powers outside of story space, and you can, and you will because you'll need them, he'll reach out to you. In places where the jazz is rich and the threshold thin, he'll reach out to you. Maybe even in your dreams, he'll reach out to you. You can't avoid him, but you can resist him. And in time, escape him by becoming something new. Are you prepared for that? I truly don't know. But my life already hasn't been easy. And with a father like Aaron, I do have a lot of experience living with uncertain threats. so the promise of a certain threat is a kind of relief. At least this way I know what to prepare for. Though saying it out loud is kind of depressing. Bao pulled through. Crown frowns and turned towards the temple, looking up as if remembering something uncomfortable and searching for an answer. There's so much I know he's not telling me, things I could try to tease out of his memories, but I can barely control them as it is. By the way, why do I still have your memories? I realize we were merged for a while, but it seems like we've pretty cleanly separated. He shakes his head. Honestly, I don't know. I've shared memories before, but they were always brief, contained things. Nothing like this. I was oddly hoping being here might strike me with an answer. Maybe I hear the voice of Sati or even the Holy Mother herself. He snorts. Listen to me. I'm no monk. Considering I doubted Sawats were real yesterday, I don't think I'm in a place to judge you. I push myself on the stone, stretching my back, and then I dare to pat his shoulder. On the contrary, I'll be leaning on a magnificent and wise teacher here to instruct me. Right, Des? He doesn't pull away. What does that mean, anyways, Des? His eyes are still on the temple, but then he shakes his head. Yeah. You told me to call you Des. What does it actually mean? What have I actually been calling you? Oh, he finally smiles. It means babysitter. There he goes, the vision keeper, now settled under his crown's tutelage. I watch as they leave. You say I am not subject to your will, mother, and yet, am I not here because of you? Did I not take part in the design because of you? I squeeze the old wooden railing just outside the temple's inner gates, red rough with faded and chipped paint. Trees are rare here. In the Azathran design, the wood for his railing would have been grown from seed in holy soil, and under tended and nurtured until severed for its true purpose, to guard and watch until the gate takes us. Could they have ever escaped that destiny, those trees? I look over the sparkling water, then up at the false moon and clouded canopy, clever illusions that hide the walls of this stone cage. Is a tailspinner story truly so absolute? Knowing a certain future, knowing a certain future, do I but flail against eternity? Is there no justice in prescience, mother? I exhale slowly. Something to my left moves. Are you going to stand there forever, raising? She appears from thin shadows cast by the walls. I notice not from the darker shade inside the gate, still avoiding our sacred spaces. I greet you, honored wanderer, and I reveal myself as our accorded demands. Would you have revealed yourself had I not called you, if I had not called you out? And I reveal myself as our accord demands. Would you have revealed yourself had I not called you out? Would you have struck me from the saddles? Would it have changed anything? She steps forward to join me at the railing, aware of the answer. Still so afraid of our temple grounds, I kick a little dust over the edge. Destiny isn't the dirt that sticks to the bottom of your shoes. If fear keeps me sharp to the traps of destiny, then I will remain afraid. Besides, holy dirt is more persistent than most. Best to remain tidy. I smiled at her, weathered but still willy. Her dedication to resistance is remarkable. How unfortunate for her that gathering dirt is in the very nature of zoos. Unless one chooses to remain inside and do nothing. How long has it been? Many years. Why are you here? We look not at each other, but together observe the rippling of the reservoir. That mirror memory, old as the city. You know why. You were watching them too. I was. And you let them go. I did. A curious gesture for a story skeptic. I've told you how it's been written, how this chapter would begin. I have little interest in your design, and yet you are here. To honor a promise, I will not participate in your Azathan machinations. I'm simply allowing the boy to make his own choices, even if they are poor choices. You make me sound like the spider, a puppet pulling strings. Aren't you? I didn't write this story. Powers greater than I authored it centuries ago. A twist of her jaw, she holds her tongue. And yet you are here. You throw back my words knowing well the limitations of my position. It's a wondrous duty to observe. A convenient position. Finally, she holds me in her vision. Given your history, will you rather I take it back? Her lips thin to a line. What of Crown then, wanderer? What of his story? It's forbidden to break the confidence of a child of radiance. You know this. Ah, there it is, the Azathan oaths. Chiding, but her expression betrays nothing. She is testing me. So, he's one of yours. Conjecture. All jazz singers are children of radiance. Deduction. No simple jazz winner. Deduction. No simple jazz singer would be here today. As you have said, it is written, so there is to be a chance. I will speak no more on it. But if you wish information, you know where to find it. She sighs. Say your piece then. There are those in Salvata who will speak with you, and gladly. A criminal syndicate of Swell Hasfar, immigrants and sympathizers. They will expect me to lead them. They will. That is not why I'm here. You may soon realize you have little choice in the matter. Or would you lean entirely on Aaron for networks and resources, knowing full well how much he keeps from you? What have you left if not faith in the faithful? All your ties have been cut. Your honor lies shattered in Vachas, unless you intend to return the holy Aya Li Hostel. Anya Li Hostel, a sacred relic known as the hands of the Maker. Don't be insulting. I cannot steal what is not separate from me. You know this. Ah, there he is. Her eyes narrow at the echo. Not bonding of spirits with your Tirtha, the Raisin oaths. Holy jazz infused relics of the Raisin order. Of or related to the religion of Raisina. Not so simple a thing to defy, is it? These demands of fate. Bind the dirt on your shoes. Fire flares to her eyes, a hand flexes. She should kill me. She could kill me in an instant with the power of those gloves. But she won't. We are not the same. I see the years have not tempered your anger. She says nothing, and the truth is in the silence. A breath, as he quickly masters their emotion. You should know your order has dispatched the Hierophant. She scoffs. You are willing to risk war, then? There will be no war. Not if he kills you quietly. She clicks her tongue. The Hierophant is rarely quiet. The order has The Hierophant is rarely quiet. The order has grown desperate. The order has grown prepared. Why have grown complacent? All these years you've acted the bodyguard or bartender, they've had time to plan the necessary incursions. The path for your assassin is clear. Not complacent. She turns back to the water. I study her expression, her posture, the minute movement of muscle beneath her skin. The anger is gone. Now there's certainty to her eyes. Potential in her limbs, though her body's relaxed. It is not the posture of a woman worried. She is committed. So that's the reason. Love. The lines around her eyes tighten. Love. Why? What is it to admire and believe in a thing beyond reason, if not to love that thing? You speak of faith. It's not like you to place such reverence in a man. I'm not. She turns to me, our eyes meeting, our final floors to this dance, an attempt to spin me into uncertainty before we bow. Is it the both of them then? Yes! Is it the both of them then? Have you told him every day, in words? He knows. How can he be certain if you do not say it? Because he is young and often chooses not to listen. And because he is old, his ears stuffed with the sound of his own schemes. To each death, one must learn to speak without speaking. She toys with me. They must ignore you often. She regards me like the stone she's made of. My voice is clear through action, just as yours is clear through absence. You disdain me because I wonder. I disdain you because you do not tell him, and because you force my silence. She hisses it. The design demands it. Damn your design. In a moment, the presence of her becomes overwhelming and enormous. I fall back a step by the sheer power of her certainty. My voice is quiet. You really. He can't know. I will accord. I know, she cools. Despite the order's lies, my honor remains. It's my turn to take a breath, return to balance. I apologize if I imply otherwise. She puts herself on the railing. You will not abandon this course. I turn my eyes back to the lake. She knows I cannot. Then may the story threads guide you, honored wanderer. I hope that whatever they reveal, it is worth it. And then she's gone. I continue to stare at the water. Are you satisfied, mother? I'm thinking bitterly. Her consciousness flickers in me, embers kindled to gentle flame. You blamed me despite all my attempts to dissuade you. These are your choices, daughter. I continue to blame you because, despite all of your power, you do nothing. I assume with power comes knowledge of a right answer, some correct future. That no action means inaction. This is a tired argument. You know very well that for there to be something better, we must make it better. A long time ago, you yourself pulled the world from the brink. Whatever happened to that wisdom? Akira's word, better. Her words are heavy. You, of course, realize this world was almost destroyed for better. Hence the design, recreate someone with a knowledge, experience, and foresight to. Is there no justice and prescience? I wondered about it earlier. I paused. See, you wondered about it earlier. I paused. So she had been listening. There's a different story where you chose to stay with the child, as I know you wished to. Wouldn't that have been better? It was a selfish wish. Selfish in what way? To deprive yourself of him, or faithfully design over the justice of a child having a mother? And all for what? To cage him in destiny? Is it less just for him to not exist at all? Without the design, he wouldn't. Sacrifices are required for the vision keeper to be fully realized, my own included. Some injustice is unavoidable for the world to achieve. What? Something better. With how much sacrifice? I began to grind my teeth. How dare she test me on this? Her of all creatures. You know exactly how much rice. She does not so much as pause. I do. So I know this pain you feel, this uncertainty. Because you love him. I gripped the railing so tightly my nails score the wood. How can I love what I do not know? Why do you think I left? But why you think I left? You would have me love him just to watch him die? I can't stop the things he must do. My sweet daughter, it's too late for that. What is it to admire and believe in a thing beyond reason if not to love that thing? Don't sting me with her words. It erupts from me in an abrupt, cracked sob. It's always a burden of us mothers to suffer watching when we cannot act, as I have watched you, your sister, countless others, and to then be tempted to ask if I can do nothing. Is this worth it? Is feeling anything worth it? In those moments, love is a bitter medicine. It is both our pain and our salvation. Is it worth it? Another echo of Ureli, another breath. I wipe my eyes. You're worried I'll become like her, the chairman. We've already seen what one caged heart can do. You threaten to cage yours with destiny, just as much as you cage your son. I pray this design won't force you to forget what that love feels like. I don't know if I have the strength to do this any other way. For now, please just return to him and keep watch for us both. Alright, so I'll stop here. Okay, so quite a lot of information in this update, but anyway, in this video, but anyway, so Crown told Wavi that his story name protects him from harm, in that it does provide protection, but apparently somehow the name Ravayan, I think the story name. However, the monster was still able to try to unite with him or merge with Wavi, and Crown had to jump in to just to save Wavi from the monster. So he combined his memories with Wavi's memories, so that way they can become one and prevent the monster from fully taking over Wavi. Now, I might have to go back and look for myself, because there's a lot of information and a lot of parts, but that's how I kind of got the whole thing there with what Crown was saying, and that when a monster takes over Wavi, well, at least when the when the monster is able to take over Wavi, or Wavian, the monster can the monster has access to that's the storyteller's name and all the memories and the personality associated with that name, and to the effect, Wavi can become the puppet of that monster, the York Tway or something like that. I mean, kind of still Wavi, but the monster or the York Tway, directs Wavi into doing certain decisions, and Wavi doesn't really have control when a monster makes him do something, or the monster can convince Wavi without Wavi even knowing that the monster convinced him to make a decision or to do something that the monster wants. So anyway, the monster takes over. So Wavi says that Crown was able to merge his memories with Wavi's memories to become one and split with the monster, so the monster wouldn't get Wavi. But now for Wavi to avoid the monster, he has to take on a new story name, I believe, and he has to be like a new person, basically. Separate from the person he was. That's Wavian. So he might have to create his own new personality or story time or story name to avoid this monster. And about Ueli and the Wanderer talking about the fact that there are some things that they can't tell Wavi about or reveal to Wavi. This Wanderer watches Wavi, but she can't reveal herself to Wavi or get involved in his life. And apparently it was, if I go by what Ueli said, this was the Wanderer's idea, I guess. Anyway, I wonder who this Wanderer is. Could possibly be someone related to Wavi that they don't want to get involved in his life, or could be possibly a sister of his, or maybe his mother. Maybe his mother's still alive, and that she just don't want Wavi to know her existence, or the fact that she's alive, I guess. I'll just have to see about that. So I might have to go back and look at what Crown said, but I think I got most of what he said. Having to him having to merge with Wavi, merge his memories with Wavi's memories to escape the monster. And because of that, Wavi can he could look up Crown's memories, because Crown's memories are part of him now. So in the next video we'll reunite with Kavir, and we'll get to meet Crown Sister and Iwan. So, thank y'all very much for watching. Goodbye.